Hey, goddess. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, my love. You got the notifications, Rosemary? Yes. You guys hit the bell so you can get the notification on the videos so you don't miss anything. I don't want you to miss anything. Just waiting to see if a few more people crawl in. So we are in January now, people. This is the second already. Already. Before we know it, it'll be the end of the month. The end of the month is fast approaching already. We don't have a lot of time to be these fabulous women. You got to work by the tick and the tock. You know how fast you got to work? You got to work in between the tick and the tock. That's how fast you got to work. You got to work in between before the dial turns. That moment between here and that point. That's how fast you got to work. What's happening, Curtis? Greetings, sure thing. Greetings. So yeah, so this video, I had wanted to talk about, I had planned to talk about single moms today because I did a post on my Facebook page about single mothers. And then something came up in the comment section of my video, Light Skin Privilege. And of course, I'm like, oh, we started. I've gotten, let me just say this. I've gotten some weird comments between yesterday and today. A lot of angry people all of a sudden watch my videos on January 1st. I'm like, y'all walking into 2019 with the same piece of shit attitude that you had in 2018. Like you start off the year argumentative, abrasive, aggressive, angry, insulted, taking things personal and all that. I'm like, good Lord, this is how we start off the year. It was interesting that I got so many comments on some videos that were negative. I'm like, so this is how you spend your time instead of planning out your year, planning out your world domination, planning to be better. You start off with negativity. Isn't that something? I just made a mental note of that, though. No Happy New Year's. It's, oh, you're an idiot. You're a fool. You have, one girl said, you have subpar looks. I think is what she called me. She said I have subpar looks. I was like, oh my goodness, my looks are subpar, so I shouldn't be on YouTube telling you ladies anything. I'm not good looking enough to give you advice. But haven't I discussed this with you before? This is what people are going to say. You're not pretty enough for anything you say to hold validity. So I had planned to talk about single motherhood. And then when I saw the comments surrounding this whole, my previous video on light skin privilege, I said, like, well, let me come on here and address this again for, all the women, all the dark-skinned women who are angry at me for not taking up the mantle or taking up the baton of we don't give a shit about light-skinned women. I've been accused of trying to appeal to them, pandering to light-skinned women because I'm not on here talking badly about my sisters and saying how light-skinned women ain't shit and all of that. I've gotten so much flexing because my message is unity. I've gotten so much pushback, negative pushback from my own dark-skinned sisters, dark like me, saying to me, I'm a fool. You're a fool, Salkis. You're delusional. You're not addressing the problem. As a matter of fact, you're part of the problem. You're the reason why we're in this situation now because you just bending over for light-skinned women and you know, you want them to accept you, and you want to play fair, and they're not playing fair with us, Salkis. And I don't know why you don't just admit that there is a privilege and that they have it better than us. And you know what's funny about all of that? The irony of all of that is that if I were light-skinned saying the same message, you motherfuckers would support me. How about that? If I were light-skinned saying we all got to come together, you would back me. Because I'm a mammy. I'm a nigger girl just like you. You don't think I'm qualified to bring us all together. I'm oppressed, so I shouldn't position myself as a bearer of let's hold hands and lock arms and help each other and be here as a support system for each other. You feel that my position is one of depression, suppression, depression, oppression, and I could not be the voice of togetherness for fucking black women. You motherfuckers do the same thing you accuse light-skinned women of doing. You do the same shit to me. The same thing to me. This is why I have no dog in that race. This is why I separate myself from that, because I know you ladies are full of shit. You ones that come on this channel telling me how I should feel and how I should support black women and who types of black women I should support are the same ones that class and cast us the same way you accusing other women and light-skinned women are doing. You do the same to me. So if my message is we can come together, that we should fucking come together, what in that is something that you can't support? I'm saying it as a sister. I'm saying it as a sister. I mean, how black do I have to be? Obviously, I'm too black for that message. I'm too black for the come together message. How about that? How about them apples? My channel does not pander to people who are looking for an excuse to feel shitty about themselves. I don't sit down and research talking points or collect data for you to have more ammunition, I guess, to feel whatever it is you feel about whomever you're feeling it for. I believe that there are other people who do it more efficiently, who are inspired to do it, who feel the energy and emotional drive to do it, who feel that it's important to have these talking points. And I think they have it covered. I think they have it covered. I know for a fact that I'm the only one that's saying, no, we are even in this thing. I'm the only dark-skinned woman. And I'm probably the only black woman that's saying, no, we are even in this struggle. I don't think there's anybody else, at least on YouTube, that looks like me, that says we have to bring it together as women, no matter what shade, no matter what skin you are, no matter what hair texture you are, no matter what size you are, or whatever it is, we are all in the same boat. We are all oppressed. We are all victims of all types of emotional and physical abuse. There is no one more privileged than the other. You're not getting better health care than me. Now, that's a privilege. If you can say you have access to better health care than I do, then you can assert that you have some kind of fucking privilege. But if you do not, then we're on the same boat. Are you not paying your taxes like I am? You got to go to the grocery store just like me. You have to work just like me. What is the privilege? What is the privilege? But this is this wonky attitude that we have. So I'm too much of a nigger girl, even for the nigger girls that have a problem with light-skinned girls. I can't be the voice of togetherness for us because I'm in denial. I'm low class. My own sisters are saying this. in so many words. Listen, I'm not on no short yellow bus here. I read people precisely. If there's nothing else in this world that I am good at, that's my claim to fame. That's my claim to fame. Reading through the bullshit. Okay? I have no degrees for you. I don't have any plaques with certificates, and I don't have PhD behind my name, although I wish that I could. I'd probably be a mess. If I had PhD along with all of this fabulousness, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to stand my own self. But I don't have that. I'm just a girl who's been through some things, who's trying to help other women navigate this maze and this chess game called life. And I'm doing it in a way that exposes you and makes you look at all your own dirt. Oh, that's so hard, Salkis. You're being so harsh, but it's the truth, but it's so hard. So hard. And they say the truth hurts. That's a good pain to have. Truth? If truth hurts, then that is a good pain to have. A good one to have. So what are we doing here for 2019? Who's entitled to say they're black and proud? Is it only women that look like me? Is it, women who have freckles on their faces, maybe 3A hair, 2C hair, can they claim it too? Like who can claim this thing? Who's more of the original seed here? Because you can't even go by face value. The way the genes are tumbled and skewed and watered down now, you can't just look at somebody and assume that they have a soul. Not nowadays. Because before, the diseases, the mental diseases that we used to see in other types of people, the hate crimes and the murders and killing children and all kinds of suicide. You remember when there was a time where black people didn't commit suicide? Those of you old enough to remember that was not something you heard black people doing. Now we're doing all kinds of stuff. We're doing everything and anything. There was one time where black women didn't get augmentations or anything like that. That was the other types of women that had to do that. Now we get in the basement, fix a flat booties and all of that stuff too. We that desperate, we going in the basement. I think Cardi B said she got her butt done in somebody's basement. And when she went back for a touch-up, the people were in jail because somebody got killed off of her fix a flat butt. This is what we do. So there's no differentiation between us, between our behaviors, our proclivities now, the emotional diseases, the emotional habits that we have inherited from other people. There's really no difference. You can hardly differentiate between a black woman and, let's say, a white woman now. We're doing the same shit. No shit to white women, as I love my Caucasian sisters too. But what used to be synonymous and specific to certain races, we're all sharing the pathology now. Everybody's sharing the pathology now. Okay. These folks feel the darker you are, the more of a victim you should be, and an advocate for being a victim. Nope, not Salkis, not over here. Yeah, can you imagine that? I am supposed to preach victimhood because I'm a nappy-headed hoe. So I'm supposed, my platform is, my narrative is supposed to be one of celebrating victimhood. I can't do it though. And this is not me saying that I'm better than anybody else. I'm just not inspired to do that. That's not my road. That was I was angry like 20 years ago, man. I was like, yeah, I have a right, and I have a right, and it's not right, and it's not fair. And then when I came to the conclusion that this thing called life isn't about fairness, it's about what you negotiate for. Those of you who didn't see my last video on there's no such thing as fairness, when I came to the revelation that I can shout to the mountaintops about fair and who's fair and who should be fair and all that, and it won't make a dent, it won't make any difference in my life, I let it go. I let it go. Like I said in the previous live, you know, you got these groups now that's supposedly fostering or creating these platforms where, you know, young black girls will get support, you know, emotional support because of all the separation and the colorism, the classism thing that we go through. And these are supposed to be supportive environments for them where they are supposedly fostering self-esteem. And I've already debunked all of that, because most of us, a lot of us, maybe not most, but quite a bit of us have had supportive parents, and we still had low self-esteem. I can't tell my daughter, you're the most beautiful girl in the world. That's not going to give her self-esteem. That doesn't do anything for self-esteem. How many kids have everything they need, all the love in the world, and they still find themselves on the receiving end of a crack pipe or something like that? This happens. It happens. So what we need at this point is just to be honest. We need to be honest and prepare our girls for what life is going to throw at them. They don't need to hear that oh, you're beautiful and you're beautiful, because guess what? Guess what that didn't do for you? It didn't fix you. You were told you were beautiful, and it didn't do anything to fix you. Nothing. You still had self-doubt. Even with all that positive reinforcement, you still had self-doubt. You have to tell them the truth. You have to tell yourself the truth. I did in the post today when I was talking about single moms, and I basically, you know, it's a cautionary tale as with everything, right? And single mothers are assumed to be desperate, emotionally unstable, financially burdened with financial issues, you know, that sort of thing. They need help. They need financial help because they have children to take care of, and they're taking care of these kids on their own. So when you're dating as a single mother, you have to take into account, listen, I understand you want to position yourself as fabulous, right? And you're telling yourself in the mirror, you're doing all that self-talk in the mirror, oh, I'm fabulous, and I'm perfect, and I'm wonderful, and I'm sexy, and I'm this, and I'm that, and you're doing all that positive affirmation in the mirror. And while you're doing all that positive affirmation in the mirror, you still have to go out into the world and meet people who have preconceived notions about your value. So I can think one way about myself. That doesn't mean that it's shared. And what the problem with a lot of us as women is that we assume that if we think positively about ourselves, somehow that's going to infect other people, and other people, men in particular, are going to share the sentiment. That's not how this thing works. That's not how this thing works. There's going to be assumptions about you from the gate. I don't care how good you look as a single mother. I don't care what you think is going on that makes you a winner. There are assumptions about your value, and you will be tested based on these assumptions of your value. So you have to prepare for that. And I'm not saying only single mothers are tested, because all women are tested. He tests you if he likes you. He tests you if he don't like you. He'll test you if he's interested. He'll test you if he's repulsed by you. Men will test you. It doesn't matter what his intentions are. You will be tested. Your convictions will be tested to see if you're really convicted about your convictions. Yeah, you will. So you walk in there with your eyes open. Not assuming this grandiose thing like you're all of that and you're all of that and I'm all of that, and in spite of the failed marriage and the children that I have, I'm still all of that. Okay. You don't walk in there assuming that he believes you. Because men don't really believe nothing you say. This is why they test you. They don't believe anything you say. Oh, I'm this and I'm that. And he goes, yeah, I heard that a million times before. And that's not even a reach to say. Because as I said before, most men that you meet have had your type. The type that you think you are, that you think you're so special and all this stuff. He's had you, another woman who's just like you before, who said, I go to church and I don't fuck on the first dates. I go home and I cook every night and I do whatever it is. He's had all of that before. So you walk in with your own assumptions that everything you're going, listen to me. You walk into this thing with the assumption that everything that you say, he's heard it before. Do not think that you are seriously impressing him with your, I'm a loyal woman. I clean my house every day. What is it? I make 6 figures. I got a degree. What else? Pick one. Do not assume he has not heard that from women better than you before. From better catches than you before he's heard that from. So you go in there relaxed, with your eyes open, not expecting to win him over. I said this before. You don't go on dates to make him love you. You go on dates to find out what the fuck you're getting. To find out who is this dude. You're not trying to make him fall in love with you. That's not your task. That's not your task. Because there's really nothing you can do to make him fall in love with you per se. What, you're going to screw him? You think that's going to make him love you? You can give him your ass your tight vagina. You think he hasn't had a tight vagina before? A vagina maybe a little bit prettier than yours? A little less ran through than yours? Salkis, why you say that? Shock value. You need to be jolted. He's had that before. So you don't go in with any of that. You go in relaxed and you just want to get to know. You're not trying to make him love you. You're just trying to get to know him. That is the agenda of dating. Because you know in the back of your mind, because Salkis Ray said that all men will test you. So you walk in there with the knowledge of, I'm not special. I might not be special to him. More than likely, I'm not special to him. It's number one. And number two, I'm not trying to make this man fall in love with me. I'm not trying to impress him. I just want to get to know him over some nice meals or some nice whatever experiences, wherever you go on the date. Wherever you go on your date where you can actually talk and you can observe his temperament and the things that he's saying, watch how he's interacting with the waitresses and just people in general. You're just taking mental notes of what kind of guy is interested in you. And your outcome will fare a lot better than maybe it has been in a long time. Because a lot of us are worried about impressing these men. And we do extreme things to be impressive to these men. And there's really nothing, there's no new experience you can really give a man. Any man who's, let's say, average to good looking. Any man who's making a decent amount of money has had access to different levels of women, right? So he has an encyclopedia worth of information. He's cataloged personalities. He's more than likely can read you really fast, because he's met your type before. So you don't go into this thing like I'm trying to be the best whatever that he's ever had. You don't go into this thing worrying about measuring up, because it's not about that. It's not about that. Not at all. He wants to spend time with you. He wants to be a part of your life. You need to figure out, or you need to find out why. And if he does, what is he offering? That's it. Oh, you like me? Why? Robert, you like me? Well, tell me why, Robert. What is it about me? Don't assume anything. I like explanations. I enjoy asking questions where people have to explain themselves. I never... Am I back on? I think I'm back. All right, so it's still buffering. All right, so before it shuts off on me again, let me just say thank you all for coming on this live. Please hit the like button and share this video with all the young ladies that you know who may have started dating, who are considering dating, maybe considering marriage for the first time. All the single mothers that you know, please pass along this video to all the women who need a fresh perspective, an honest, no holds barred perspective on this mating game, this thing called life, mating, black women, colorism, whatever, you know, the whole thing. Pass it along to them so they can have another narrative, another piece to this puzzle to consider. I mean, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to agree. I'm not here for you to agree. I'm here to teach. I'm not here for the popularity contest. Either you accept the wisdom or you don't, and either way, it's okay. Either way, it's my day is going to be fine. So, to that end, you want to love yourself, but don't assume that people are going to love you. See the love you have for yourself and mirror your sentiments. That's not how this thing works. Everything is a negotiation, and you assess how you're presenting your worth by who you're attracting. Who are you getting offers from? What, you know? Just you evaluate. Like, if you get 10 men approaching you, I'm sure there's a pattern there. If 9 out of 10 of them are men that you don't like, then there's something about you that you're misrepresenting to the world. And you have to assess that. So if you want to upgrade, or if you're not sure about how you're fitting in this grand scheme of things, assess who's coming to solicit you. Assess who are you getting solicitations from. What type of men are soliciting you for relationships, for sex, whatever it is. And if none of these men are up to snuff, then you have to rebrand yourself. You have to really rebrand yourself. Repackage yourself. Just like companies repackage and rebrand themselves, you have to do that. You can do that for yourself too. And you would have to. So you want different results. If you want different customers, you got to rebrand. Businesses understand this. You have to rebrand. You have to rebrand. So, I mean, that's it. So, let's see here. I was buffering. So, a woman that I read that. Yeah, this thing isn't hard. What's hard is having to convince men who are not really interested in you to give you a shot. That is extremely hard. And guess who's doing that? A whole bunch of women do that. Try to convince men to love them, to give them a shot when they're not interested. You will always be a victim doing that. You don't chase men. I don't give a shit what these men are saying out here. I don't care if MGTOW or not. It's irrelevant. Irrelevant. You don't chase them. We're not designed for that chase. Because when you're chasing, you can't vet what you're chasing. That's our position and how we think. We're unable. We pigeonholed ourselves and we handicapped ourselves when we're busy chasing. Then we can't see you, and the relationship doesn't work out. It's not a loss. It really isn't a loss. So it doesn't behoove us. Whereas for us now, if all we get is sex from them, it might be a loss because maybe his penis is too small. Maybe he doesn't know how to screw. Maybe he hasn't satisfied you sexually. And a whole lot of, there isn't a woman alive that I know of who hasn't experienced bad sex. There isn't a woman alive that I know of who has had an orgasm with every sexual encounter that she's had. I don't know any woman who's come every time she's had sex. None to date. Maybe it's one of you, but I don't know of any. So that's a coin toss for us. We can't measure it the same as in the same way. It doesn't hold the same value. Sex for us does not hold the same value as it does for men. So why does society now say it's okay for women to chase men? Because men are effeminized. Men are effeminized now. That's the whole, oh God, that's like a whole nother video itself. But you know, the propaganda today is gender neutrality, right? That's the catchphrase now. Gender neutrality, gender fluidity. You don't have to label yourself a man and you don't have to label yourself a woman, so that, you know, the family nucleus is no longer something to strive for. Nobody, and you hear men talking about it now. They don't want a family. They don't want the responsibility of a wife and kids. They don't want anybody needing them. They just want to screw who they want to screw, you know, take you out for a beef patty and some cocoa bread and send your ass on your way. That's all they want to do. I give you this Pepsi here and this Dirty Man Frank. For those of you from New York, you know what I'm talking about. I'll give you a Dirty Man Frank and a Pepsi and send your ass along. That's it. No attachments. So it's part of a bigger dynamic to effeminize men, because once the men are effeminized, our society, listen, men are our protectors. Men are who protect culture. Men do that. Women uphold culture and men protect it. And once men give up culture and say that it's not normal to have a family, then guess what happens? Your children are at risk for being abused. She's also, the women in society are also more at risk of being abused, because we have no protection. We have no defense, which is our men. None whatsoever, because he's too busy trying to be emotional like me. It's propaganda, man. It's to usher in all this other stuff like sleeping with dogs and pedophilia and all that stuff. It's part of a bigger picture. Once you get rid of genders, if you can't call a boy anymore, then everything you want to do to him or her is normal, because there are constructs and there's right and wrong surrounding what boys do and what girls do. When you take that away, when you take gender away, do you know what gets normalized? Everything. Every and anything you can think of becomes a consequence of a society that's progressing. This is what you're watching now. People just say, it's just a natural progression. It's society progressing. Really? Really now? There was one chick, I hope my phone stays, but if it shuts off again, you guys, I'm going to end the video. But there was this chick on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends, she friended me, and she's a life coach. She calls herself a life coach. And she said that all sexual, what did she call it? All sexual, let's call it appetites, like heterosexual, asexual, pedophilia, bestiality are all choices, is what she said. They're all choices. And she said while she doesn't support pedophilia, she claims that it's wrong, but she also said, no, she didn't say it was a choice. Excuse me, I'm getting all fucked up. She said it's not a choice. She said it's not a choice to be heterosexual. It's not a choice to be asexual. It's not a choice to like bestiality. And it's not a choice to want to have sex with children. It's not a choice. And because it's not a choice, you know, she was sort of sympathetic to the fact that a person is, I'm assuming, she didn't say that they're born that way, but I mean, how else are you going to assume what she's saying? She never said that, but obviously if you think it's not a choice, you think it's something biologically, the person is biologically wired for this, then how are we to uphold the right and wrong in that? Because when you say it's not a choice and I'm born this way, don't I have a right to protest against your prejudice against me because I had no choice in being what I am? How can I condemn you if you didn't have a choice in being and wanting to fuck little girls, wanting to rape and fuck little girls, little 4-year-old, 5-year-old girls and boys? If that's not a choice, then you are now in a position to defend your right to be who you are. And she couldn't understand. She's one of them feminists. Well, you know, I respect the light and the dark. You know, I understand, and our society is light and dark, and you know, I can't condemn any of it. And I said, well, you're not a mother, and it sounds like you don't want to be a mother. But those of us who are mothers have to pick a fucking side. You have to, in your mind, decide what is right and wrong, so that somebody's not in your child's face, and because you into light and dark bullshit, you decide you can understand why some pedophile is in your child's face. You have some sort of empathy because they were born that way. You have to pick a side. But this is the logic that some of our sisters have for this bullshit because they're co-signing on this feminism bullshit. I'm telling you, the face that will usher in the legalization, all the legislation for pedophilia, bestiality, fucking robots, and all that shit will be a woman's face. Mark my words. They're going to use women to subdue our friction against all of this. They're going to use the female archetype. She's going to be beautiful. She's going to sound agreeable. She's going to be non-offensive. She's not going to be too sexy now, because you don't want the ugly girls to be offended by this pretty girl saying, you know, that it's okay for men to have appetite for children. So she's going to be unassuming. She's going to be the plain Jane, the girl next door that everybody likes, that nobody could be jealous of, that a man will fuck and a woman will be a friend because she's not intimidated that she'll get all the men. It'll be that type that's going to face to usher in all of this stuff. This chick on Facebook says it's not a choice. So you are compassionate to people who fuck animals and little babies. There's no other way. You can't translate it any other way. There's no other way. If you're saying it's not a choice, then you don't have the temperament to fight against it. You don't have a positioning of fighting against it, because you understand it as a proclivity, as just somebody being heterosexual. That's your understanding of it. It's the same as somebody being heterosexual, somebody fucking little kids. That's how you're lumping it all in. And I told her, I said, they're going to use your reasoning to now fight for their right to not be undercover with their sexual appetites. They're going to use your exact reasoning to fight for their right to be with children. This is a result of not having men around. Not having men around. The effeminization of men and the women so-called ruling everything, running all the show. This is what's happening. Our children will not be protected. Why? Because of toxic masculinity. Any man that shows aggression now is toxic masculinity. That's what he's labeled. So he can't even defend his territory. He can't defend his family without somebody claiming that he has some sort of emotional disease, emotional imbalance. This is where society is going, though. This is where it's going. You have to be careful. You have to be careful out here. You have to know for yourself what is right or wrong. What I find with anybody arguing their position, you know, the usual thing is, you know, everybody can do what they want. I'm not here to, you know, to infringe on anybody's right to do what they want to do. That's always the caveat. When anybody, you go on social media now, and if people are opposing or expressing their position on anything, they gotta put that caveat in there. I'm for anybody can do what they want. Everyone has their right to do what they want, but that is what's gonna get our butts kicked. The butt. It's either you're standing to the left or you're standing to the right. You don't have to be all inclusive of anybody. Look who's turned into bullies within our society now. You can't say nothing about certain types of people, but other people are fair game. Retards, poor people, black people, who else? Anybody else but a certain type. As long as you ain't talking about gay and lesbians and, you know, other sexual lifestyles, you're good. Everybody else is fair game, though. Everybody else have to suck it up. They have to chalk it up to the game. Oh, it's just a joke. We all got to understand a joke, except for you. It's not a joke when it comes to you. You have to draw a line in this thing called sand. You really do. Well, yeah, you can't talk about Jews either. Yeah, that too. That too. And it's unfortunate. We live in a crazy, crazy times. And I think the only way you can maintain your sanity in this day and age is to simplify things. You must approach everything with a simplistic view, a very elementary view. Because once you get into this thing called nuances, and I didn't mean what I said, and you took it out of context, bullshit. Once you start getting into those gray areas, you're going to be manipulated. Because someone who doesn't care about you can pretend that they do by saying you took it out of context. You know, when I said you were ugly, I didn't mean that. I was helping you out. I really love you. You are ugly, but what I'm saying is I said that because I love you. And you're sitting there like, you love me? Okay, but you just called me a dog. Okay, so what you're saying is, I'm not really a dog. I look like a dog, but you still love me. You just want me to be better or feel better about myself, and you're just using tough love to make me feel good about myself. You know, is that what you meant? You didn't really mean I was ugly? No, I meant that you were ugly. I'm just saying I didn't mean it to hurt your feelings. I meant it so that you can do better. You know how many of us get duped with that shit? Out of context bullshit. Simplify everything. Because truth resides in simplicity. Not in anything complicated. Anything complicated is just a person not knowing how to present their fucking life. That's when complications come. I don't really feel this way about you, but I still need you for certain things, so now it's complicated. It's complicated because I'm not really in love with you anymore, but I gotta act like I do so I can still get what I want from you. It's complicated. Simplify. 2019. That's how you approach things. The moment anything someone says starts confusing you, like you're unsure what the point was that they're making, you either run. You can do two things. You can either run or ask them to clarify. And even with their clarification, you got to understand that they're concealing something. Just know that they're concealing something. This is people. This is people. They can't love. They don't have the capacity to. No, they don't. They don't, but they say they do. How many men say they love you that they don't? And they didn't. How many of us experienced that? The man that we were with said, but he said he loves me. But, that but again. That word but. The black pill. Take it. Swallow it. How many of them said that, but what they said and what they did were not congruent with each other? And you're sitting there, well, he called me ugly, but he really didn't mean it. You know, the context was he just wanted me to be a better person. No. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. No. Love exists. It's just not in humanity. Well, then we're really jacked up. Where does it exist then? In outer space? Under a tree trunk? Maybe it's in the sea. Maybe love is trapped in the ocean somewhere. There's nothing more mysterious than the ocean. The ocean is a bottomless, like a bottomless pit. You'll never see everything in the ocean. You never know everything that's in the ocean. Never. Maybe it's there. Says I love you, goes ghost on Valentine's Day. Words and actions must coincide. I mean, that's it. That is it. If you are confused, my darlings, my lovely flowers, if you are confused because the words and the actions do not coincide with each other, understand that you are being lied to. You are being manipulated for whatever gain the other person intends to gain. You are being manipulated. You're being told something you want to hear, but something that the other person doesn't feel is true. You know? So confusion needs to be addressed. Anytime there's confusion, you need to address that. Yeah. Don't sweep that under the rug. Don't assume. Don't talk to your girlfriend. Well, girl, well, what did he really mean? The moment you have to consult with a girlfriend to ask her what she thinks he meant, from the moment you have the inclination to do that, you must understand that the dude means you no good. He's lying to you. That's what your girlfriend should say. Well, he's lying to you. And you don't need your girlfriend to tell you that. Because if you are unsure, let me tell you something again. Truth is simple. If you are unsure, then he is lying to you. Salkis, do you think I'm wrong for not taking advice from people who don't show actions? When you say people, are you talking about a man in your life? Who's the people? Damn, it's hard to accept that because you want to believe the lie. That's our problem. That's our problem. We listen, the sum total of our problem as women is that we like to hear things. We put value in what we hear instead of what we see and what we experience. What we hear holds as much, if not more, value than what you're experiencing. Because if what you experience was the upper echelon, the cream of the crop, like on the top of the list of what you quantify as truth, then you wouldn't be confused by what somebody's saying. It really wouldn't matter. Because all it is, how are you evaluating this thing? Do what he does. What is he doing? I know he says he loves me, but what is he doing? I know he says I'm the most beautiful girl in the world, but what is he doing? I know he says my vagina is the tightest he ever had, but what is he doing? What is he doing? We like to hear. We like to hear sweet things, whether they're true or not. And we become victims of the presentation. We become victims of romance. That's really what it is. We are victimized by romance. Men have to develop gift of gab, right? Romance was really created by men, actually. You know, I'm going to just tell you what you may not know. Romance is not a woman's thing. Romance is a man's thing. It's men who created romance to convince a woman to go to bed with him. You can just sit there and be beautiful as a woman. You don't even have to open your mouth, and a man wants to sleep with you. Men, on the other hand, have to find a way to make you love them. So they developed this thing called sweet nothings, and flowers and candy and all this stuff to bait you in. Because that's the only way that he'll get pussy. You can just sit there with your legs open and get a dick. You can sit on the curb with a skirt on and no drawers, and somebody will park their car like, you know, you need something? You know, I got you, you know, whatever you need, whatever you need. Right or wrong. Men created romance. Men created lies. Stop snitching, Salkis. Am I snitching on you? Well, this is what 2019 is, my dear. It's the year of snitching. It's the year of truth. Enough is enough with the bullshit. All these movies always have romance part to the storyline. Of course. Of course. And we swoon over it like, oh, I wish he would do that for me. Oh, why did he do that for me? Don't we? That's what we do. All men want sex and that's it. Yeah, they want sex. They want sex. All men want sex from different women. Add that in there. Yeah, they want sex, but they want sex from different women. Because let me tell you something. Any of you in a relationship, once you hit the 7-year itch, They call it the 7-year itch. He's about ready to leave your ass. He's about ready to leave your ass by then. He been wanting to fuck somebody else like 5 years prior to that. Well, actually, if you've been together 7, by the time that you get over the first year, he's already ready to fuck somebody else by then. 12 months. He had you in every hole. He put his dick in every hole you have. You know, y'all did the flips, the upside down, the chandeliers and all that. It's over. It's over. And God forbid if you get pregnant in the 12 months, it's really over. You get pregnant, it's called a Reynolds wrap. Okay? A Reynolds wrap is what that is. I'm done with you. Mission accomplished. I put a seed in you. Your vagina has reached the pinnacle of its use. I'm done. I'm done. So after a year, he's already wanting to fuck somebody else. 7 years, he's contemplated leaving you a couple of times by then. Everybody's in a slump by then. Not to say women aren't either. But I'm just saying for the most part, nobody's like in love with the other person 7 years in. Like, oh, I'm hungry for you. I just, except for, the few aliens amongst us that still claw each other after 20 years. I haven't met any of those. Some of y'all say you have, but I haven't met any of those. But they do exist. They do exist. There's probably some sort of pathology on there too. They just have an understanding with each other. They're providing each other. The narcissist is getting fed and the codependent is getting fed, so that the relationship is grand. It's grand. And that's what it is. This brother calls me queen, but if he saw me as such, wouldn't he crown me? What I would say to that is, when a brother calls you a queen, it goes back to what I just said. Stop assuming that you know what that means. You let him say that, and you thought you knew what he meant by it. You were supposed to ask him, what does that mean? What does being your queen mean? What does that entail? What do you think a queen is? And you asked him to explain it, to give you details on what that is in his mind, in his eye. You may have in your view what it is, and he may just be like, well, you got a fat ass. That's what makes you a queen. You never know. Ask him, what does it mean? I'm your queen. What does it mean? And I bet he won't be able to explain it. I bet he'll go, well, I mean, you're a goddess. When they say, say, no, I don't. I really don't. I want to know what you mean by that. And you play dumb and ask him to explain. And I bet you the explanation that he gives you, it ain't going to be close to what you're thinking you're going to get out of that title. I bet you it won't. Tell these men, make these men explain themselves. When they say these things to you, these things that you want to hear, you can throw in, well, why do you say that? And you can do it with a smile. You don't have to be in a mode of interrogation. You can go, really, why you say that? What do you mean by that? And let him have to explain himself. And then you know for sure if it's BS. A lot of you don't want to know if it's BS or not. You just want to hear it. But you got to know if it's BS or not. You got to know. Black Aquarius says, I've crowned myself. If others crown you, they can always take your crown away. If you crown yourself, it always stays on your head. I say you don't need a crown. What is that? A crown of what? Of what? We're all flawed. We all got some habits and some things that we're hiding. No, I don't want that. I don't want that bag. Yeah, Salkis, it's fake kings out here. Oh, yeah, there's fake kings out here. There's a whole bunch of fake everything. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Me a lactose intolerant. Hamburger. Okay. All right. Men hypersexuality is due to women not vetting. Yeah, it's due to a lot of things. It's not just women not vetting. It's due to our sick-ass society and those in charge of our emotions, really. Dictating to us what we should strive for. You know, what's good and what's bad. What's good and what's bad is being dictated to us. So it's a lot of that. When you want to, you know, have control of your mind, you know what happens? People call you crazy. People immediately call you crazy. Like, what's wrong with you? Because everybody over here is doing this and you don't like this, you don't want to do this. Then you start being ostracized, which causes pain in itself because you want to be a part of the herd. You want to be accepted with your peers. So a lot of people go along to get along. Who wants to look like a freak out here? Who wants to look like a freak show? Young, dumb, can we meet, Salkis? You want to meet me? What you want to meet me for? Meet me to do what? You cannot be king living in someone else's kingdom. It goes both ways. Spirituality, physically, humility, please. There's always going to be a boss, though. You know, I think some of our talking points, you know, concerning beta males and alpha males and all of that, really, they're irrational and a little bit deluded. Am I on? So what I was saying was, you can be a man who owns his own corporation, right? And if the water company shuts your water off, you can't go turn it back on. All you can do is pay your bill. But if you turn on the faucet and water don't come out of that faucet, you're beholden to whoever's cutting off or cutting on your water. So there's hierarchies, and there's always going to be that. No matter how much you make, no matter how privileged you are, what you think, who you think you're a boss of, or whatever, you're a boss of people, and other people are bosses of you. It's always going to be something above you or someone above you. You know, nobody's the ultimate anything. Everyone has something to answer to, and all of us are answering to death. Because everybody's going to die. Nobody can outrun that. Nobody can rule death. That's something that's gonna happen. So, you know, it is what it is. But how much of your life do you want to control? Would be the question. How ambitious are you? Are you utilizing all your gifts? Are you exploiting your talents? Or are you wasting the day, complaining? Wishing that somebody will give you a break somewhere, and all the nonsense that we waste time doing, waiting for the right conditions, waiting to master something, and all of that. You can wait your whole life away, and that's what a lot of people have done. A lot of us have waited our whole lives away. Now that's a travesty. That's a travesty. A brutal black pill, yeah. That's what I'm on this year. Brutal. Brutal indeed. Know when you're learning from an honest person, and Salkis is one of them. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Exactly. Nobody's special outside of themselves. We ain't kings if queens, no one else but ourselves. Most people can't even govern themselves, claiming kingship. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You know, before we take on titles, are you doing everything that you have to do? You don't need anybody to call you a queen. That's not going to help you. Taking on the title of queen is not going to help you if you are doing things that are against nature, or against your own immediate health and well-being. Then a title of queen means what? Not a fucking thing. Not nothing. You're going to eat that brownie today and that cream cheese cake today, and you knowing that your cholesterol is like 700. But he called me a queen. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's it. Young Dumb said that cross is the devil. You scared of this? Ooh, you scared of this right here? There's a lot of things that are devilish. This is not one of them. There's a whole lot of stuff to be scared of. I ain't gonna get into that. That's your bag. Whole life wasted. Yeah, the whole life wasted. Absolutely. But he called me a queen. Yeah. Alpha and beta, jaw and lack of jaw. Jaw and lack of jaw? You mean balls and lack of balls? Balls and lack of balls. You know, it is what it is. Salkis is a representation of death, beloved. Remember, they scared your ancestors burning crosses. Okay. All right. What can I say? There's a lot of things that represent death out here. A whole lot of things you're doing on a daily basis that will cause your death. A whole lot. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. What you thought I meant by can I meet you? I don't know what you meant. That's why I asked you. I asked you, why do you want to meet me? Did you not hear me say that? Why? I don't know what you meant. Cross represents the changing of ages, the crossing Pisces to Aquarius. I like that. I like that explanation. We give meaning to things, you know. Things do have meaning, and then we give meaning to things. We have the power to give meaning to things. The power of the word, power of your intention, and the action behind your intention all create. They're creating your world. Your intentions are what creates your reality and your world. Your actions on a daily basis can cross you or bless you. Your actions. You can wear a swastika on your chest, a cross on your chest, a devil horn on your chest. It doesn't. None of that shit matters. It is your actions that create the heaven or hell that you experience. Heaven and hell is perception. Some people see an end, others see a beginning. Who are you? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Women must know you won't get the full package. You must accept the good of one that outweighs the bad. Hey, you accept, you know that people are people. You expect people to lie. I mean, if you just expect people to do everything that you do, then your surprise factor should be minuscule. Because haven't you lied? Haven't you mistreated people? Haven't you been about your self-interest over the comforts of others? You put yourself first? Haven't you competed with somebody to get something before? Haven't you been selfish? Haven't you been all those things? So you expect somebody to be at least on the level of what you potentially are. At least that. And then the surprise factor should go all the way down to this. All the way down to this. Salkis, how long have you been painting? I honestly don't know. It's been some years. I don't count. It's been a couple of years now, but I love it. It's therapeutic. It's spiritual for me. It's another way of expressing myself and actually healing other people. You guys check out the art at iloveherart.com. There's a lot of magical pieces there. A lot of magical pieces there. iloveherart.com. And for those of you who need private consulting, private coaching, private spiritual advisement, you can go to the site. As of right now, you can still contact me either via email, Salkis at iloveherart.com, or book a session through the site. It's up to you how you want to do it. However you want to do it. I'm very flirty with women. Are you now? Okay, you want a medal for that? You want a prize in the Cracker Jack box? Young dumb, huh? You need a medal for that? So yeah, so you guys, that's all I have for you today. Like I said before, please share this video with all the young women, especially the young women that you know that need a fresh perspective on this thing called mating and dating and life purpose, and just how to navigate through this whole thing and navigate around people and their pretentiousness. People are such pretentious creatures, like to no end. Let them see the video. Subscribe to the channel for those of you who haven't. Please hit the like button. Everybody that's on the live, please do me a favor. Reciprocity here, and hit the like button. That will help the channel. It will help me be seen by those who need to hear and see me. Was it before you started YouTube? Was what before I started YouTube? I didn't see your question. Are you talking to me? Lady B? I didn't see your question. What do you think about education debt? What do I think about education debt? I think so. Well, I mean, we're talking about education. I believe education is going to be privatized in the next couple of years. I don't think education is going to be free like it is now, at least for the, elementary, junior, and high schools and stuff. I see where things are going on, and I don't think we're going to have freebies in the future like we do now. And for the most part, look at corporations now. I think it's who was it? Was it Google? I can't remember these companies now. That there was a list of like 7 companies that no longer have a stipulation of candidates for employment need degrees. So even companies are getting away from that. They want qualified workers. You don't necessarily have to have a college degree. I just can't remember offhand. I know it was Google, but I can't remember the other ones. Was it Facebook? Could have been Facebook. But there was a couple of corporations now that like you can apply for a job as long as you have the qualifications for the job. You don't need a degree. That's where we're going. Everybody's going to be like self-taught now. That's where we're headed. I sometimes wish I didn't go to college. Hey, I mean, it's still purposeful right now, but the way the future is, listen, in order for you to make money, you're going to have to be creative. The jobs are just not going to be there. Just like Social Security isn't there anymore, jobs are just not going to be there. You're going to have to create an occupation for yourself. You're going to have to do that. The education system really just creates debt. You take out these loans that takes you 50 years to pay. You become a debt slave through the education system. That's what usually happens there. And you're still not qualified for a job when you get out. They can't guarantee you a job. You spend $50,000 and you can't guarantee me a job. You spend $100,000 on your education, $200,000 on an education, and you still not guaranteed a job. That's what they call a hustle. That's what they call a hustle. I can't guarantee you nothing, but you're going to spend $200,000 when I'm finished for no guarantee, for a piece of paper. That's like one of the biggest hustles, education. Yes, hit the like button, please. I ain't seen the likes move yet. Like, what's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? So, yeah, you guys. So, I think we have come to the close of this live. I hope you found value in what I'm exposing here, what I'm trying to teach you here. What's my intention for this year? Keep that to myself. You know, I have some things that I intend to do but I'm letting it incubate, and you'll see them as they birth themselves. I want you to be like, oh wow, surprise. But it's always being better than before. It's always improving myself, more knowledge. I'll tell you one thing though, just acquiring more knowledge is my focus for this year. A lot of learning. A lot more self-learning. You know, I'm always learning, but I'm devoting more time to disciplining myself, taking a certain block of the day to learn something is my focus. I'd be like Warren Buffett. I think they say he reads, was it 5? I don't want to lie. Was it 2 hours or 5 hours a day? He reads something every day for 2 or 5 hours. I think Bill Gates, he takes reading vacations where he goes off somewhere, doesn't answer the phone for a month, and he takes a certain selection of books with him and he devours them and gets all his information. So he goes on while everybody's sipping tequilas and margaritas on a nudist beach. Bill Gates is going somewhere to read. That's how he spends his off time. So I'm along that line. I'm along that line. This clamp thing for my phone. I could drive and talk, but I don't want to do that. It's too distracting. Salkis, I always wanted a woman that looked and had knowledge like yourself. Being honest, not flirting. Oh, you are too sweet. I hope you get a woman like me. I don't think there's anybody out here like me, though. Hard pressed to find. Or I could call one of my sisters. I have 2 blood sisters that are younger than me. They're a little bit like me. One of them is extremely sarcastic. Like, she is funny. I feel like I got a sense of humor, but when I'm around her, it's like it's non-stop jokes. Non-stop jokes. You might like her. And she needs a good husband. So you might want to send me a picture of yourself. Let's see what you're working with. And you got to have money too, because she's expensive. She's not a hobo like me. Like, I can eat out of a coconut, you know, and sleep on what do you call it, a hammock. You can put me in a hammock and give me a coconut, but not her. Not her. She's brand new. You want to read more, B? Then just go ahead and read. I read all kinds of stuff. I like old English literature. I like that too. So I'll be getting into a lot of that this year too. You said now you'll take me? Oh my goodness. All right. Amy said send a picture of your bank account. Yeah, send a picture, a snapshot of your bank statement. Yeah, because I sleep in a hammock, but I like organic food, so it's still going to cost you to be with me. It's still going to cost you money. I have learned how to start a business. Oh, okay. You want to learn how to start a business? Let's do it. Let's do it. See, Salkis, you don't represent that. You don't know what I represent. I keep my magic under my hats. That's what I do. I never talk about my personal life. nor will I ever do that. You have to maintain your mystery. This is enough. This level of exposure is more than I can even take sometimes. I already told you guys I'm a recluse. I don't talk to anybody. I don't have any friends. You think I'm joking? I don't have any friends. My mother complains that I don't call her enough. Like, I don't talk to anybody. So this is all you get. This is all you get. You got a house? All right, all right, all right. Once you guys say he got a house, we can work with that. We could work with that. Oh boy, I asked a personal question. Let me delete it. No, that's okay. That's all right. This is enough. This is more than enough. This is traumatizing me more than you guys even know. I'm already traumatized with this. But it's all good. It's all in love. I do this because I love people, and I don't want us to be in pain. So I come out of my own comfort zone to help people, because otherwise I'm like, I have nightmares. I have nightmares about chicks going through stuff, and I can hear things. The whole empathic thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. I go, oh no, she's gonna get hurt. Oh man, I gotta jump in. So that's the issue. That's the issue, but it's all good. When am I moving in? You send me pictures of your house. Go to Salkis, Salkis at iloveherart.com. Send me the 360 of what kind of house you got. I need a picture of you too. I want a picture of you standing in front of your house. I want to see what your bathroom looks like. I want to see what the master bedroom looks like. You have a backyard? You have a pool? Is there a basement? Let me see all the particulars on that. Let me see your deed too. I want to see the deed to the house too. I got to see all of that. So, yeah, you guys. So, I'm really out this time. I only plan to be on here 30 minutes, and you see, I had only planned to be on here 30 minutes. So I got to go now. So I appreciate all of you. Even the ones of you that are haters, that have not hit the like button, that come here to sop up all my gravy. You want to sop up my gravy with the bread, and you don't want to give me a like, but that's okay. That's okay. I got the view count. All right, bye, y'all. Peace and love. Once you guys just send the pictures. Send the pictures and we'll talk. Bye.